My name is Isabella. My parents said he was a good man. When he walked into the room, I knew my life was over. My old life was very simple. I lived in a small village. The houses stood close together. Everyone knew my name. I knew everyone's name. My father was a farmer. He worked in the fields every single day. My mother took care of our home. Our house was small, but it was full of love. I had two younger brothers. They were noisy and full of energy, but I loved them with all my heart. I had a dream, a very small dream. I wanted to become a teacher. I wanted to teach the children in my village. Books were my best friends. They took me to faraway places without ever leaving my room. I wanted to give that same gift to other children. My parents knew about my dream. They would say, "Isabella, you are very smart. You can do anything you want." They worked hard so I could go to the village school. I was so happy there. Then one evening, my parents called me. Their faces were very serious. My heart immediately felt heavy. I knew something was wrong. My father wouldn't look at me. My mother held my hand. Her hand was cold. "Isabella," she said, "a man wants to marry you." I didn't understand. Marry me? I was only 18. I wanted to study more. I wanted to become a teacher. I said, "No, I don't want to get married." My father finally looked at me. His eyes were full of sadness. "We have no choice," he said. "The crops failed this year. We have no money. This man is rich. He comes from a good family. He can help us. He can help your brothers." A tear rolled down my cheek. "But I don't even know him," I whispered. My mother repeated, "He is a good man. His name is Daniel. He lives in the city. He will give you a good life." A good life? What did that even mean? A big house? Nice clothes? My life in the village was already good. I had my family. I had my dreams. But I saw the pain in my parents' eyes. They weren't doing this to hurt me. They were doing it to survive. I looked around our small home. I thought about my little brothers and their future. I closed my eyes and said, "Okay, I will do it." I never saw a picture of him. They only told me his name, Daniel. He was 30 years old, a businessman. His parents had been friends with my grandparents long ago. That was the only connection. The wedding day came too quickly. I wore a white dress, beautiful, handmade by my mother, but I didn't feel beautiful. I felt like a doll without feelings. Friends from the village came. They looked happy for me. They didn't know how broken I felt inside. I smiled for them, but the smile was empty. I stood inside the small village church, waiting for the man named Daniel. People started whispering. Then the door opened. A tall man in a dark suit walked in. Dark hair, serious eyes. He didn't smile. He walked straight to the front and stood beside me. He didn't even look at me. My heart was beating like a drum, a sad, frightened drum. This was him. This was Daniel, my husband. The ceremony was short. I said, "I do." My voice sounded tiny, like it belonged to someone else. He said, "I do." His voice was deep and calm. He slid a cold ring onto my finger. And just like that, I was married. After the wedding, there was a small celebration. I sat beside him at the long table. We didn't speak. He ate slowly. He looked at the people around us, but never at me. I felt invisible, like a ghost at my own wedding. It was time to leave. The hardest part. I hugged my mother. She was crying. "Be happy, my child," she whispered. I hugged my father. He held me so tight. "He will take care of you," he said. I hugged my little brothers. They didn't understand. They just didn't want me to go. My heart shattered into a million pieces. I got into a big black car. I had never been in a car like that before. It was dark inside. Daniel got in on the other side. The car started moving. I looked out the window. I watched my family, my village, my entire life become smaller and smaller until it disappeared. The drive was long, hours and hours. The sun set, the world turned dark. The silence inside the car was heavy. I wanted to ask, "Where are we going?" But I was too afraid. His face was like stone. No emotion, no smile. Nothing. Finally, we reached the city. So many lights, tall buildings, so much noise. It was frightening. We stopped in front of a huge house. No, not a house, a mansion. Big iron gates opened slowly. The car drove inside. The house was dark. An older woman opened the door. She wore a black dress. "Welcome, Mr. Daniel. Welcome, Mrs. Daniel." Her voice was flat. Daniel stepped out and walked inside. He didn't wait for me. I felt so small. I followed him. Inside, the floor was shining marble, a grand staircase. Everything felt cold, empty. It didn't feel like a home. It felt like a museum. The woman showed me to my room. "Your room, madam." My room. Not our room. My room. The room was bigger than my entire house in the village. A huge bed with white sheets, a large window. Outside, I could only see more dark buildings. She left. I was alone. I sat on the edge of the bed. The bed was soft, but it gave me no comfort. I was in a strange house, in a strange city, with a strange man who was now my husband. I started to cry. I cried for my home. I cried for my family. I cried for my lost dreams. After some time, there was a knock on the door. My heart jumped. The door opened slowly. It was him, Daniel. He stood by the door. He just looked at me. His eyes were dark, unreadable. I couldn't breathe. This was it, my first night as a wife. I was terrified. Then he spoke. His voice was quiet. "You are tired," he said. "You should rest." That was all. He didn't come closer. He didn't touch me. He looked at me for one more moment, then turned and left. He closed the door softly. I sat there confused. I expected anger. I expected something, not this cold silence. I cried myself to sleep in that big, empty bed. The next morning, I woke early. Sunlight came through the window. For a moment, I forgot where I was. I thought I was back in my village room. Then I remembered. My heart became heavy again. I went downstairs. The house was completely silent. In the kitchen, I found the older woman, Martha, the housekeeper. "Good morning, madam," she said. No smile. "Mr. Daniel leaves at 6 every morning. He returns late." He was already gone. I felt a little relief, but also more alone. I ate breakfast alone at the huge dining table. The food was good, but I couldn't taste it. I missed my mother's cooking. I missed eating with my family. The days passed like that. Every day, the same. I woke up alone. I ate alone. I wandered the big empty house alone. Daniel left before I woke. He came back after I went to my room. Sometimes I heard his footsteps on the marble floor, but I never saw him. We lived in the same house, but in different worlds. I felt like a prisoner in a golden cage. Beautiful clothes, good food, but no happiness, only loneliness. I missed my village. I missed the sun on the fields. I missed people. One evening, I was in the library. The house had a huge library, my favorite place. So many books. I was touching their spines when the door opened. It was Daniel. He had come home early. He looked tired. He loosened his tie. He saw me and stopped. "Hello." His voice was low. "Hello," I replied. Silence. Awkward. Then he noticed the book in my hand. "Do you like to read?" "Yes, very much." He walked to a shelf, took out a book, and handed it to me. "This is a good one." It was a book of poems. I loved